An investigation has been launched in the way a police department handled a 911 call by a former NBA player by the name of Lorenzon Wright. Do you know Lorenzon Wright?
I do a little bit, yeah.
He was a player in Tennessee. And on the day that he made the 911 call, he actually called into the Germantown, Tennessee Police Department. And the dispatcher, all she heard was some garbled noise and then 10 gunshots, right?
Ooh.
And after she heard that, it hung up, like the NBA player hung up, and she traced the call back, and it was actually from Southeast Memphis. Mm-hmm. So that's actually out of the police department's jurisdiction, so they didn't follow up on the call.
Oh, geez, some Lord mercy.
10 days later, Wright's body was found, and it was severely decomposing. In fact, he was 7 feet tall, and he only weighed 57 pounds when they discovered his body.
They discovered him 10 days later.
10 days later. And the case is still open. They have not found the people who have shot him. And of course, part of the reason why is because no one responded to the call. And now his mother is suing the town, and I guess we'll see what happens with that case. But
right.
What makes me so upset about this story is not only did they ignore the call, while the case was being investigated, they said that an internal investigation found that the Germantown Police Department concluded that the dispatchers followed the proper procedures, and the dispatcher thought that the gunshots were, in fact, fireworks.
Yeah, not buying it.
Not buying it at all.
Okay. All right, now here's the thing, right? There's some jobs that people drive you crazy when they just do, hey, look, that's the rules and regulations, right? I'm sorry, sir, there's nothing I can do, right? Mm-hmm. And they don't want to do an inch more work. In fact, all of those people, I got to be honest with you, I think do a lot more work trying to avoid work. You see what I'm saying? If they just did their work, it'd be fine, man. The day would fly by, or would go by at least, etc. But they got all these different, oh no, according to Rule 1B, C, D, E, F, no, I'm not supposed to do that, right? Now, but in some jobs, you can get away with it. Mm-hmm. You say, all right, you know what? He didn't hammer that nail in because of regulation 2C, 1Z, right?
Right.
But
I hate that regulation.
I know. But there are some jobs you cannot get away with it. Like this. And I don't mean you can't get away with it like they're going to do the internal investigation and he or she followed the rules. No, I mean like people's lives are on the line. You can't mess around and be lazy about it. You can't be like, oh, I'm sorry, you're like 0.3 miles out of my jurisdiction, so I don't care that you just got shot 10 times. Because that's not human. That's a terrible reaction. If you're a 9/11 responder, you got to respond, man. You've got to at least transfer the call to the next jurisdiction. I mean, Jesus, have some sort of humanity.
I know. I'm actually really surprised that they didn't follow up with it. You know, what they did is the only thing they did was trace the call. They found that it was out of their jurisdiction, and that was it. And what amazes me is that after they did the internal investigation, they decided, she did the right thing. You
know why? She was liked at the office. If she was not liked at the office, she'd have been right under a bus, okay? But if you're liked, you go, oh, well, technically the regulations, we go to lunch with Sally, she's gonna be all right, okay? If I'm a 9/11 responder or a person taking the call, I should say, and I get a call and it turns out I'm in LA, but the jurisdiction is in Alaska, I make an effort.
Right.
Okay? Because I just heard 10 gunshots.
You find a way to contact, where did you say, Alaska?
Yeah.
Wherever in Alaska, and you make sure that they're acting on it, and they find out what's going on with that situation. You don't just ignore it.
May I make a more controversial assumption about this?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a younger white lady with her husband beating her like we heard on yesterday's tape. Because she hung up several times. Can we just forget this? Can we leave it on? Can we stop? No, because you call us, we have to respond. Because you have to. That's protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No matter how much you say, no, I changed my mind. He's okay now. He's calmed down. No, we're coming. How do you just not do anything? Because that's never protocol. That's always the basic thing. If somebody calls 911, they're at least finding out why you're playing with 911. Something.
Mm-hmm.
You got police coming to your house.
Mm-hmm.
It's egregious.
I feel like you're trying to say something, but not quite saying it.
You can cut.
All right. I'm not going to make you say
we can maybe hear the way Lorenzon, was it Lorenzon Wright?
Yes.
Yeah.
The way his voice probably sounded on the phone.
Okay, I got you.
Didn't sound like the tapes we had yesterday. Told him what's
Okay,
up.
I hear you loud and clear. Okay. Now, look, I don't know if that was a factor here, and we don't know what everybody's situation was, right? But at the same time, if that lady whose voice was trembling, etc., and was, oh my God, my husband, he's got a gun, I don't know what to do, and she's in a panic, and come to find out she's in a wrong district, where they've been like, oh, never mind, don't worry about your husband's gun, you'll be all right, and they hang up on her. Probably not. So that's where I hear JR, making an interesting point.
By the way, another thing I wanted to mention is keep in mind all of these different police departments, all of these different services that we have now that are getting defunded. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising to me if more and more of these reactions start happening. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Absolutely. Well, I mean, you know what happened in New Jersey, right? Newark and Camden. They got cut so bad into state funding that they started taking away the police.
Right.
And then I forgot which one, Newark or Camden. I think it was Newark. Crime shot up like 60%. So they're like, oh shit, get the police back. Of course, you need the police. Are you crazy? Right? And you remember the fire they didn't put out because the guy didn't pay for private insurance?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. To be fair, that was actually insurance from a neighboring town, but he had to pay into it if he was outside of their jurisdiction. Look, jurisdiction is one thing if, I don't know, you're planting vegetables. Oh, no, wait, I can't plant that cucumber. That's in the wrong jurisdiction, right? But somebody's house is about to get burned down or somebody's getting shot, I don't give a fuck about the jurisdiction. You see what I'm saying? Come on, basic human decency.